Look around at your neighborhood. It's a disaster. California streets aren't just messy, they are in a state of absolute grinding chaos. And why? Because Governor Gavin Newsom's big, shiny plan to fix the mental health crisis has been exposed for exactly what it is: a total failure. They promised you a solution, but all they delivered was more of the same. For years, the politicians looked you in the eye and told you a new era of accountability was right around the corner. They marketed the Care Court program as this bold, game-changing answer to the heartbreaking reality of untreated mental illness in our parks and on our sidewalks. It was supposed to be the legal pathway to finally get the most vulnerable people off the concrete and into real treatment. But the data is out, and the story it tells is much uglier than the press releases. It's a story of a massive bureaucratic mess and a complete breakdown of the plan. While you, the taxpayer, have been forced to pour over $300 million into this initiative, the actual results are basically invisible. Only a tiny, pathetic fraction of the thousands who were promised help have actually seen a court-ordered plan. It's not a solution. It's a financial black hole that hasn't done a single thing to bring back order to our communities or give dignity to those who are suffering. Our streets have become a monument to policy disaster, while the leadership in Sacramento just keeps giving us empty rhetoric instead of the real, hard-nosed action the public is begging for. This is where it gets truly insane. Does the governor look at this train wreck and decide to change course? No, he's doubling down. Despite the staggering costs and the fact that almost no one is actually participating, he signed a new law for the coming year to expand eligibility to even more people. The families and advocates on the front lines are calling it a total failure. They're pointing out that the voluntary nature of these deals doesn't actually solve the underlying health crisis. It just makes the decay a permanent part of our landscape. We're watching a government that flat out refuses to admit its own mistakes. Instead, they're just casting a wider net, even though the net they're using is already shredded and full of holes. They're even trying to loop in certain bipolar cases now, which many see as a desperate move to shift the goalpost since the original plan for schizophrenia never got off the ground. It's a tragic waste of your money and precious time, leaving families stuck in a perpetual state of limbo while the state claims it's taking action. The frustration on the ground, it's hitting a breaking point. The people who have spent their entire lives fighting for the mentally ill are now some of the loudest voices calling out this mess. They're describing the whole program as toothless, a massive violation of the trust we put in the state to fix this humanitarian nightmare. When you actually look at the math, it's sickening. We've spent hundreds of millions, and the cost per participant has ballooned to over $700,000. That isn't just a mistake. It's an indictment of a philosophy that cares more about how things look on camera than how they actually work on the street. Local counties are terrified too. They're staring down a mandate that offers no real infrastructure for long-term success. Sacramento is essentially mandating a massive failure and then forcing local governments to manage the fallout. The promise of clean streets and healthy citizens is gone, replaced by a reality where our urban centers are being permanently dismantled. What's actually left of the California dream? It's been buried under a mountain of broken promises and mismanaged funds. As we look toward the start of 2026, this Care Court expansion stands as a perfect symbol of an administration that refuses to walk away from a failed ideology. If you live in Los Angeles, San Francisco, or Sacramento, you see the truth every time you step out your front door. You see a failure that no amount of political spin can hide. You see the loss of public safety and the destruction of the middle-class quality of life we used to take for granted. So the question is, how much more do we have to lose before they finally embrace a new direction? This current path isn't fixing the root cause. It's just conditioning the public to accept the unacceptable. We have to demand a return to basic common sense and reject the policies that have brought this once great golden state to its knees.